Hi, I'm Paco, and you're watching Bad Witch Books. Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over my book haul for July. July was a slower month for me book buying because it was a slow work week month for me. So I didn't buy a lot of books, even though I did go on a trip at the end of the month, like in the middle, near the end of July, and I met up with Princess, and we went to Barnes & Noble, and I bought like 4 books there, so like, we love that. So, yeah, I've gotten some books. I got 2 Fairy Loot books here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other books. So 10 books in total, but let's get to it. Ready? Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so the first book I have to show is The Dust Jacket, because I'm physically reading this right now. But this is not the first book I got in July. This is just the order I have them up. And that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This is a military fantasy about dragon riders. Our main character, Violet, is going to the college, and she wants to be a scribe, but her mother, who's like a general, I guess, is forcing her to be a dragon rider, and that's tough because Violet herself has a disease. And yeah, but I'm excited to read this. This is very hyped. It was very hyped the last couple months. I got this because of the Magical Readathon. I had to do a prompt that was like the first book you see on Instagram, and of course because of the hype I saw Fourth Wing, so I had to get Fourth Wing, and I'm currently reading this. I'm like less than 10 pages in though, so I don't have anything to say about the title of the book. Next book I have is The Blood Gift, another book I got because of the Magical Readathon. This prompt was for the Impling Challenge, because it had to be a book that was under 500 and something pages, or under 4 something pages, between 400 and 4 something. It had to have blue on the cover. It had to have the same letter in the title. It had to be a book by an author I've read before, and I read Blood Trader, the first book, Blood Trials, earlier this year, and it had to have come out either this year or last year. This came out this year, so I am going to be reading The Blood Gift. I am going to plan to read this very soon, this month, but I haven't read it. So if you don't know what this is about, The Blood Trials is about our main character Nika, who after her grandfather, who is in a position of power, is killed, and she kind of goes into a drunken stupor, finds out that his death may not have been an accident. She decides to go to these elite trials to join this academy, or this like elite military group that her grandfather used to be in charge of, where she thinks she can find out the secrets to his murder. And there's blood magic. It's really good. The first book was really good. I'm excited to get to this one. Okay, so the next book I have here was one of the first books I got with Princess, and that is The Cursed Crown. This is the sequel to Twin Crowns. This is by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. Kind of hard to see with the cover and the glare. But this book is about 2 witch sisters who are separated at birth. Ren is raised by her grandmother, who is a witch, and Rose is raised by the castle guard, who kind of teaches her to hate witches. And they trade places one day, and shit happens, and this is the sequel after stuff happens at the end of this one. I'm very interested to continue with the series, mainly for the cover, because I love this cover. But that is that book. Next is one of my more anticipated books of the year, and that is The Sun in the Void by Gabrielle Romero Lucruz. This is another book I bought when I was in Princess's Town, and we went to Barnes & Noble. So this book is about 2 girls who are both drawn in with dark magic. Rena is desperate, stuck on the edge of society. Rena's only hope lies in an invitation from a grandmother she never met, but a journey to her is dangerous, and prayers can't always avert disaster. Attacked by creatures that stalk the mountains, Rena is on the verge of death until her grandmother, a dark sorceress, intervenes. Now dependent on the Dona's magic for life, Rena will do anything to earn and keep her favor, even bidding an ancient god who whispers to her at night. And then Eva Kesar is unwanted. Illegitimate and of mixed heritage, Ava is her family's shame. She tries to be the perfect daughter, but Ava is hiding a secret. Magic calls to her. Ava knows she should fight the temptation. Magic is a sign of the dark god, and using it is punishable by death. It is hard to ignore when it has always been denied. Ava is walking a dangerous path, and in the end, she will become something she never imagined. I know this is inspired by South American folklore, and I love this cover. I'm very excited to get into it. Yeah, this is, I think, the first in duology, and I followed the author on Patreon because he's a really good artist as well, and I'm very excited to get into this. I think I'm going to read it next month. Next book I have is Painted Devils by Margaret Owens. This is the sequel to Little Thieves. Little Thieves follows our main character, the female character, who she is the goddaughter of Death and Fortune, and it's also a Goose Girl retelling. That's all I'm really going to say, because I think it's best to not go into this not knowing what the fuck is happening, because I really enjoyed it. That's why I went to it, and I really enjoyed it. But this is the sequel, and I'm very excited to read this. I will probably be reading this in December for my sequel month. Next, I have Thief, Liar Lady by D.L. Sora. This is an adult fantasy, I believe, and this is a Cinderella retelling. But this is like if Cinderella went to the ball to scam the prince. And that's all I need to know. I love this cover. I love Cinderella retellings, so I'm very excited to read this. It sounds very good. It's got Tamora Pierce on the back saying about it, but happily ever after is a total scam, but at least this time the princess is controlling the gift until her true love arrives and threatens to ruin the whole scheme. So that's all I need to know. Books fell. It's okay. We're here. The next book I have is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is a book that's been on my radar for a while, and it was at Barnes & Noble when I went, and I was like, fuck it, let me just get it. But I know this is just a romantasy book in I believe it's like Regency romance, and it has to do with a fae. And I love a cover. It is difficult to find a husband in a Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. So, very excited to read this when I eventually do. Okay, next book is the book that I actually read out of all these books, and that is Jade Legacy by Miss Fonda Lee. This is the last book in the Greenbone saga. This wraps up the series pretty well. I read this last month, so you can go watch last week's video for my review of this, but I really enjoyed this. If you don't know what the Greenbone saga is about, it is about this island, Kyoto, I believe. And there are two rival clans, the No Peak clan and the Mountain clan, and they are basically in a war for power. And it's really good. It follows the main family is the Greenbone, the No Peak clan, the Shay, the Call clan family, and I enjoyed it. I love the characters. I think this is a good wrap up of the series. Even though this wasn't my favorite in the trilogy, I do love this trilogy all together. So this was a 3.5 when I actually read. Okay, so the last two books I have to show you guys are Fairy Loot books. So the first is the Fairy Loot book for June. So this was June's pick, but I got it like the first week of July. And that is Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Brinton. So here is the cover. Here is the beautiful sprayed edges. Here is the back. Here is it naked. It says Sing Me to Sleep. Here's the back. It has a gorgeous art on the reverse, on the end papers. So what I know about this book is our main character is a siren, and she is the last of her kind, I believe. And she has to keep that secret, and she is basically working as a bodyguard or guard captain for this mercenary gang, and she is assigned to become the guard for the royal prince, and she ends up falling for him. And I think also the prince is investigating these murders, who these murders happen to be her with her siren powers that she doesn't have complete control of. Very excited to eventually read this. This has been on my top 10 anticipated books of the year, so I am excited to get to this book. Last book is the July Fairy Loot. I actually got it in the month of July. Usually I get it the month after, like the beginning of the month after, but I got this one in July, so it is in this haul, and that is Threads of Fate by Kikia Hatubuzul. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that name. But this is a Greek mythology-inspired book by an ethnically Greek author. So I'm very intrigued to see how that feels. So it says, the Moira born always come in threes, like the Moira, the goddess of the fates themselves. The first one was a spinner, who could weave new threads. The second was the drawer. She could elongate or shorten a thread, intensifying or weakening the corresponding feeling. And the youngest was the cutter, able to cut whatever threads she desired, even life threads. Cutters were the dangerous ones. So I know this book follows people that have their abilities from their ancestors, who are the gods, and our main character, of course, is a Moira born, so a descendant of the fates. And this is the cover. Beautiful purple, beautiful back, beautiful sprayed edges. This is the reversed dust jacket. This is the end paper. This is the end paper. I know Jen has already read this book and they loved it. So I'm very excited to get into this because, like, I love the Fates. I love Greek mythology. This cover is just right up my alley, so I'm very excited to eventually read it. I am with all the books I buy because, like, why would I buy them if I didn't want to read them? But yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I think I'm most excited to read the 2 Fairy Loot books that I have, and Sun in the Void are my top anticipated of these haul. Yeah, but this was a very short haul for me. What did you guys buy? How many books did you guys buy? Did you buy a lot? Did you go overboard? Did you get a lot? Or did you be smart and save? Hopefully, I buy more in August, because August has a lot of books I'm anticipating. But comment down below. I post new videos every Friday. I try to do vlogs Wednesdays, and I maybe sprint Mondays. But down below you can find my links and stuff if I actually put them there. I have my links to my Insta, my Twitter, or my X. Just all my shit. And I will see y'all later. Bye.